So Donald Trump has named his pick to lead the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and it is Lee Zeldin, a four-term Republican congressman from the state of New York. So this is from NBC. Trump described Zeldin as, quote, a true fighter for America First policies. President-elect Trump selected former Representative Lee Zeldin of New York on Monday to oversee the EPA in his administration. In a statement announcing the appointment, Trump described Zeldin, a former four-term Republican from Long Island, as, quote, a true fighter for American First policies. Quote, he will ensure fair and swift deregulatory decisions that will be enacted in a way to unleash the power of American business while at the same time maintaining the highest environmental standards, including the cleanest air and water on the planet. That is a very telling statement, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing that he says is deregulation in order to bolster American business. That's the thing that comes first from him. The thing that comes second is the highest environmental standards, including the cleanest air and water on the planet. Now, that second part, of course, is a lie. He only throws that in there to reassure people that he's going to care for the environment. But as we saw from the first Trump administration, they did not care for the environment one iota. They were one of the worst administrations for the environment in history. George W. Bush was more pro-environment than him. H.W. Bush, Reagan, those two were more pro-environment than Trump. Trump is a deregulationist to his core. I don't even know if that's a word, but it sounds good. The guy, I mean, remember all those reports early on in his administration in 2017? Like, oh, Trump cut this regulation, that regulation, yada, yada. And there were a lot of right-wingers just bragging about it. Like, oh, yeah, he cut regulation. I'm like, did you even read the regulations that he cut? You're just saying, oh, yeah, you know, whatever. I'm sorry. This debate is not so much between big government and small government anymore. It's between effective government and ineffective government. But let's continue. He will set new standards on environmental review and maintenance that will allow the United States to grow in a healthy and structured way. Zeldin said it was an honor to join President Trump's cabinet as EPA administrator. Quote, we will restore U.S. energy dominance, revitalize our auto industry to bring back American jobs, and make the U.S. a global leader of AI. We will do so while protecting access to clean air and water, he said on X. Here's the thing about U.S. energy. The U.S. is already doing excellent on energy under the Democrats. The Democrats just happen to be doing this thing called walking and chewing gum at the same time, where they actually believe in protecting the environment and helping American business. Whereas with Trump, it seems like almost a foregone conclusion that there's just going to be a bunch of regulations slashed under his presidency. Regulations that do save lives, that prevent deaths from pollution, air pollution, water pollution. Not to mention also the FDA regulations preventing deaths from drugs and spoiled food. Lee Zeldin doesn't know what he's talking about. The Post requires Senate confirmations. Republicans will have a majority in the chamber when the new Congress is sworn in during January. After Trump's announcement, Zeldin said in a Fox News interview that he would prioritize efforts to roll back regulations that he said caused American businesses to struggle. Quote, there are regulations that the left wing of this country have been advocating through regulatory power that ends up causing businesses to go in the wrong direction, he said. Such as? Do you want to give any examples, big guy? Or are you just going to complain about big government? Not a good look. Not a good look. Do you remember who Trump appointed to be head of the EPA at the start during his first term? I'm going to give you a chance to guess it, and then I'll say it. And if you can guess it and remember it, then credit to you. It was a guy named Scott Pruitt. And Scott Pruitt was just a deregulatory ideologue. He didn't care at all about the environment. He just cared about slashing regulations and making government as inefficient and ineffective as possible. Trump's not appointing people who actually are committed to doing their job. He's appointing people who are committed to actually doing the opposite of their job. Now, Lee Zeldin he's an interesting character because unlike Scott Pruitt, he ran for governor against Kathy Hochul. And he actually did fairly well for a Republican in New York. His entire campaign was basically based on yelling at Kathy Hochul for crime and claiming that she supports crime. He ended up losing, which, you know, crime is somewhat of a populist message to run on. I don't think that's actually a bad idea compared to running on other issues like complaining about wokeness. But yeah, he ran an all right campaign actually, but he's a committed Trump ideologue. He puts Trump before basically anything. He's fully on Team MAGA. And I think Kathy Hochul and the Democrats running against him in 2022 really effectively pointed that out and were able to defeat him because of that. That at that point, Americans did not want a candidate who was associated with Trump. But now it's like, oh, we elected Trump, so Trump gets to bring in his stooges and his lackeys to come in there and destroy the government and, you know, destroy regulations which literally save lives. But yeah, this has been another coverage of the Trump administration and their appointees. Really interesting to see. Let me know what you think about Lee Zeldin and this pick in the comments below. We covered Susie Wiles last time, and so now we're talking about someone who's like actually in the administrative state. And the administrative state is a hot topic lately because of the overturning of Chevron deference, which I covered back at the end of June. You can see my video on Chevron deference being overturned. The EPA is going to be strongly affected by this. Yeah, it's a law school concept that I learned about and that I was happy to talk about, but I'm not going to get into it now. But yeah, deregulatory ideologues who hate the government and hate efficiency and hate effectiveness and don't care about the environment are going to be put into this administration. It's concerning. Do I know what's going to happen? No. There might be some 180s that are done for all I know. I don't have a crystal ball. But yeah, not a good look. Not a good look from Trump. Make sure to keep an eye on this. Follow up in the news and make your voice heard. But yeah, if you like this video, you found it interesting or insightful, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel. We've been doing pretty well lately. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next video.